Hey everyone! So Easter was a couple weeks ago and I decided for Easter that I would make myself a new dress, and this is a sewing vlog of me making my dress, but I won't have all the clips I took of me making my dress because that could turn into a longer-ish, really too long video. So I will just be showing you bits and pieces, and I will also tell you all the materials I used, the patterns I used, and a couple of items I used to accessorize the dress, and with also showing you a finished product of the dress at the end or towards the end of this video. So I hope y'all enjoy this video and let's get started. Okay, so the first question you may be wondering is what pattern I used. And I actually bought this pattern on Etsy, which I love Etsy because Etsy has tons of different sewing patterns, knitting patterns, crochet patterns for you to choose from. And the good thing is on Etsy is a lot of times when I buy patterns, they're usually always on sale, so I can get them for a few dollars cheaper than they usually are. And this was, for the dress pattern for this dress is called a trapeze dress by Bunna Patterns. This was a very easy and simple pattern to follow, and because it has no zipper or closures that you have to sew. And if you've sewed anything in the past, you'll probably understand because zippers are usually my least favorite thing to sew because I'm always afraid I'm going to mess them up or something's going to go wrong, because zippers are usually one of the last steps to having a completed project. So if you mess that up, your project's pretty much ruined unless you can fix it. Even though I have sewn something with zippers and they're really not that big of a deal to sew, but let's just say zippers are a little scary to sew at first, and still are for me. But anyways, this pattern was a very simple pattern, even though I had to adjust a couple things. I had to make on the dress, I had to make the neckline, it was too small, so I had to make it a little wider because I didn't want it to choke me. And even though I'm doing knit fabric, I didn't want it to be too tight around the neck. I had to adjust a couple things, including the length, because it was way too long. It would have dragged the ground. And of course, I am short. I'm only 5'1", so and most clothing patterns are made for average sized women, and when you're short like I am, a lot of stuff is too long, or just you have to adjust, which I understand, which is the great thing about sewing is you can customize, adjust the size of the pattern, which is why I always recommend doing a mock-up first. And I have the mock-up I made for the dress right here. Let me get it. It's only got one sleeve because I didn't want to go through the problem of making both sleeves, and I know it's ugly, the fabric's not that pretty, but that's why this is called a mock-up, because this fabric I actually bought while it was on sale for like, was it 70 cents? 70 or 50 cents, I'm not sure, which was really good because this cheap fabric makes wonderful mock-up material, because then I don't have to use my expensive or more expensive, not really super expensive, better fabric. But yes, I know I can read all y'all's minds. It's ugly, I know that. And I only made one sleeve, and I didn't hem the sleeve for the mock-up because I just wanted to adjust to see how the sleeve fit, when I adjusted everything, if the sleeve fit right, which it did. And so this is just the mock-up of the dress. Even though I made the dress in knit, I know I used cotton. Somebody's probably out there yelling that you should use, if you want to make a dress out of knit, you should make the mock-up out of knit. Well, I don't have a lot of extra knit lying around, and this was only like 50 or 70 cents a yard. So this was a cheap alternative instead of using the more expensive knit. And to be honest, I don't have a lot of knit fabric lying around. So there is the mock-up, which I have no idea what I'm going to do with it now. Yes, I know the mock-up looks, it kind of, at first when I made the mock-up, I was wondering how the dress would turn out, but then I'm like, well, my other material I have for it is prettier material, it's more flowy, so it would look better as a dress. And I also decided to customize the dress with a belt. I got on Amazon and bought just it was a pack of 4 belts, came in tan, brown, white, and black, and this was just to make the dress, maybe make it a little more fancy, I guess you would say. Making the dress a little fancier. And also, if you're wondering what shoes I wore, this is another Amazon special, just some taupe, I guess that's the color of it, taupe heels, open toes, that I bought actually with I actually bought these shoes for another dress I made a couple months ago. In fact, I'll be right back. Let me grab the dress. I will show you. This is a dress I made. I think it was a couple months ago, and yes, this one has a zipper, which and yes, I will say I do use zippers because some dresses you need zippers, even though they aren't my most favorite thing in the world to sew into. But anyways, and yes, I know it's another pink dress. I love the color pink. What can I say? I just love pink. And so this was what material was this called? This was a Swiss dot knit fabric. And what I love about knit fabric is a lot of times when you wear it, it doesn't wrinkle. Like cotton is a very notorious, it wrinkles all the time. But this was my other dress I made, and I may do a vlog about this, I don't know. But this dress I made for a pattern, when I just made the mock-up, I just made the mock-up of the top. I didn't have to adjust anything because it was perfectly sized. Everything, the neck, the shoulders, the waist, the length, it was perfect. Which, I love it when patterns fit perfect. But the good thing about sewing and creating is, like I said, you can adjust any pattern. You can change the size, the width, the length. You can change anything you want about it to make it customized to your size or your preference. So there was that. So this is the fabric I used. I had a little extra of the fabric left over, and what fabric I used was just this simple ribbed knit fabric in this pretty pink floral pattern, and this is just regular ribbed knit fabric. And some people may be wondering if knit fabric is tricky to work with, and it is a little bit more difficult than using regular cotton fabric, but it's not hard to sew with at all. And with just a little patience, you can work with it and make dresses, skirts, tops, whatever you want to make. And this is just like a really pretty fabric. I loved working with this fabric, and I'll probably make something out of the rest of this knit fabric. I'm not really for sure what, but so there is the fabric I used. And before we get to the sewing clips of this video, I would like to remind y'all to subscribe to my channel and comment on this video and tell me what y'all's latest sewing project is, or what you love about sewing, or what is your least favorite part about sewing.